So as 2017 draws to a close, I wanted to make this video kind of looking back at 2017 for my channel, as this was one of the most impactful years I've had on YouTube. I've made a lot of videos I'm really proud of, and a lot of videos talking about Nintendo things that I really didn't expect to be talking about when I first started out the year. You may not remember, but at the very beginning of the year I wasn't a Nintendo YouTuber. I mainly played Xbox games like Overwatch or Call of Duty and stuff like that. But at the beginning of this year my taste sort of changed, and I found I formulated my YouTube content around the games that I was playing, which turned out to be more and more like Nintendo. So I picked about 26 videos from this year out of I think like 47 videos I uploaded throughout 2017 to really just briefly go over and talk about what my idea behind making it was, and just some things that I was thinking while making it, and just how that video may have just impacted my channel. So this was the first video I uploaded in 2017. It was when I was still playing a lot of Overwatch, and I had a bunch of cool clips saved up that I wanted to make a montage with. I remember I used the song that I really liked at the time. I think it was Ode to Sleep by 21 Pilots. And it was just a really chill video. It was pretty easy to make. I made it in just an afternoon and just threw some clips together that I really liked and put the music in the background. I sorted it a little bit of timing, but it wasn't too intensive, unlike the videos I would upload just a few weeks later. If you want to see any of these videos, by the way, they're on my channel. I'm not going to go through putting all the links in the description because there are just so many I'm going to be going over in this video. But this is one I would definitely recommend checking out. It's pretty chill. If you like Overwatch, you might like this. This video is probably the most important I've uploaded on my channel this year. It's sort of what officially changed my content from Xbox focused to Nintendo focused. I made this video to update my mainly Xbox subscribers that I was playing more Nintendo games, but to my surprise this video actually became the most viewed video on my channel. I think right now it has like 50,000 views, and a lot of people were upset that it sounded like I was bashing the Switch. I guess in hindsight it did sound like I was hating on the Switch a little more than I should have, but there were plenty of people that also liked the video and were happy that I was defending the Wii U in 2017. I still do think the Wii U is a great console to purchase this year. Because the Switch is so popular, it's had a pretty significant price drop. So if you want to play some of these fantastic games that are only on the Wii U, it's not a bad idea to pick one up. I don't have a Wii U because I sold it to get money for the Switch, but I find that sometimes I still do miss some of these awesome games, specifically Super Mario 3D World. But yeah, I'm still super surprised how much attention this video got, and I know a lot of my subscribers came from this video. I think I gained about 200 subscribers just in the few weeks after this video, which is pretty significant given I'm not that large of a channel. This video along with the next one are some of my favorite videos I uploaded this year. These were actually some of the last montages I upload, where I take music and align clips to sync up with it. It turned out really good, and this is one I would definitely recommend going back to my channel and checking out. In that same weekend I was also hard at work and uploaded this remix with the song Heavy Dirty Soul that was pretty popular at the time by 21 Pilots. As you can see by the footage, it's pretty intense, and I did a lot of jump cuts that really synced up very well, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. This is probably my favorite video on my channel period, just because it looks really cool. I want to make more videos like these, but I'm not really sure how to do that because I don't really play first-person shooters as much anymore. I had an idea of using Splatoon 2 clips to line them up like this, but it ended up being a little more challenging than I thought. That still might come in the future though, I'm not really sure. But yeah, this is definitely one I'd recommend going back to my channel and watching. I put a lot of work into it, and I think it turned out great. This video I made at the end of February in response to some criticism on my So I Bought a Wii U in 2017 video. I talked a lot about the pros and cons of the Switch and what my overall impressions with it were. I focused on how there were a lot of expenses with the Switch, so even if there wasn't necessarily anything wrong with the console, I didn't want to pay that much money for a system like that. This video was really meant to sort of clear the waters and tell people that I really didn't hate the Switch. I just wasn't exactly sure what the direction it was heading. And obviously, as you know, I changed my mind in the future. I posted this video in the middle of March about how I had bought a Nintendo Switch, sort of contradicting what I had said in my original So I Bought a Wii U video. I was very careful about how I phrased things, so I didn't want to upset the people that subscribed to my channel because I had bought a Wii U. I mentioned in this video how I did sell my Wii U in order to get money for the Switch, and I sort of went over some reasons why I changed my mind in the first place. I actually bought the Switch the day after it came out, and I'd been playing with it for a couple weeks before I decided to upload this video. In hindsight, I'm really glad I ended up buying the Switch. There were just a lot more games than I was expecting to be on the console, and in this video I was sort of talking about my optimism for the system, which actually turned out to be a pretty valid view. I'm not really sure what my motivation was behind this montage, but I was really happy with how it turned out. I had just seen that movie Moana with my niece, and I really liked that You're Welcome song in it. For whatever reason, I thought it would fit perfectly with Zelda Breath of the Wild's open nature, so I decided to make this quick tribute to it. It wasn't really that difficult to make. I just took a bunch of clips I had from gameplay I had recorded and formulated them into this, and I think it turned out really well. And if you have the time, I would recommend going back and checking this out. I remember this video. I actually really liked how this turned out as well. The Splatoon 2 global test fire had ended, and I had some pretty strong feelings about this game. For the most part, I liked it. It felt like Splatoon, and I was really happy that I was able to play it on the Switch. But there were some things that I went over that just felt kinda wrong to me, mainly with the color scheme. And to be honest, I feel like Splatoon 2 still has those problems today. I might make a video on it in 2018, but Splatoon 2 has sort of lost my interest. Some of the reasons it has were issues present in the beta that weren't really addressed in the full game. And this video I think did a good job showing some of those issues. Like I said earlier, a big problem I had with Splatoon 2 was just the way it looked. It didn't necessarily look bad. For example, I really liked the new ink colors, but there was something about the map design, just the way everything looked when not inked, that didn't really appeal to me. The map was sort of dark, and I think a week after this I made a video about how Splatoon 2 was pretty dark and what they could do to kind of fix those issues. So really all this video was comparing the original Splatoon to the sequel to see how they stacked up graphically. A lot of my predictions in this video about Odyssey and Breath of the Wild were right, but a lot of them were also wrong. I made some guesses based on some things I'd seen in the trailer of Odyssey, that there might be some kind of temperature gauge and he'd have to do different things in each world to deal with temperatures, maybe there was some kind of heal potion, but none of that really came to fruition. Still, this video was surprisingly popular and really added to my Super Mario Odyssey hype at the time. So I made this video at the end of April just to sort of give my thoughts on how the Switch has been doing so far. At the time I had a lot of complaints because there weren't really a ton of games for the system. For the first 2 months, really the only big game we had was Zelda Breath of the Wild, which was a really fun game, but sort of got tiring after a month of gameplay. After 2 months, the only new release we got was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which although fun and kind of a big deal, it was technically just a port and nothing new. This video was really just meant to sort of rag on how the Switch didn't have a ton of good games, but in hindsight I really didn't need to make this video as the Switch's first year turned out to be a lot better than I was expecting. Although I do still stand by some of the points I made in this video. I do think the first couple months of the Switch were pretty dry. I specifically remember at the Switch's very launch, there were only like 9 games in the eShop. 9 games that you could buy. There was like Zelda, 1-2 Switch, Super Bomberman, and some other indie games I wasn't really interested in. But when you can count a game's launch lineup on 2 hands, there's a little bit of a problem there. But like I said, the Switch luckily ended up having a pretty good first year. I remember making this video about a week before I left on my vacation to Italy. I wasn't really sure how it would turn out when I first had my idea of making a top 5 list. I really didn't want it to be super generic as you see in most other top 5 lists. But what I finished with I think actually turned out phenomenal. This sort of paved the road for my future top 5 videos. No pun intended. I really liked the way I used the music that was specific to each track in Mario Kart 8 on each section. I think it really added to the production value of the video. So right after making this, I ended up making a video about my top 5 least favorite tracks. This video I think I edited the same day as the last one, but I'd scheduled it to go up while I was on my vacation in Italy. I think it turned out just as good as the other one. I just really liked how it combined music and video, so that kind of inspired me to use this format in some future videos. After I got back from my vacation over the summer, I threw together some photos I had, and talked for I think over 10 minutes about all the stuff that went on during our trip. There were a lot of cool things we saw. We got to see the Pope, I remember, up in a window, and that was one of the highlights of the trip. We also got to see the classic Colosseum, which honestly was a little underwhelming, believe it or not. But all the awesome artwork we saw more than made up for it. Overall, it was just a really fun trip, and I'm glad I was able to take enough cool photos to be able to talk about it in this video. It was a really great experience. Not much later, Splatoon 2 launched on the Switch. I made this video just to talk about some of the things I experienced during the initial launch. From what I remember, the launch was actually really good. I didn't experience any connection issues, which is surprising considering the launch of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Pretty bad in terms of online. I think it was a really good thing that Nintendo was able to have a great online launch, and I'm sure it boosted Switch sales in the long run. Oh yeah, this one was pretty funny. I wanted to make just the dumbest voice I could for Sheldon, and so I ended up making this quick little video, mainly to show off the win streak I got with the Aerospray, and really to point out just how overpowered the weapon was. I think I had like 40 wins and 10 losses at one point. It was kind of ridiculous. But yeah, if you have the time, I'd recommend going back to this video as well. So it took me a while, but I finally was convinced to buy the Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC. I actually ended up beating the final Trials of the Sword, which was extremely difficult on an airplane in handheld mode. I was so excited that as soon as I got back from that trip, I made this video talking about my thoughts on the Trials of the Sword. I think my overall summary of the DLC in this video was that it was fun, but just wasn't rewarding enough considering all you had to do to complete the trials. I still have flashbacks occasionally of all the difficult challenges and times I died in really dumb ways in the trials. I wish Nintendo would have given you a better reward, or given you something to keep you playing every time you fail. But yeah, if you want to see my thoughts on that, I'd recommend going and checking out this video. This was another top 5 that I made that I was really proud of. It's pretty self-explanatory. It was just 5 games that I had played on the Wii U, or at least had seen on the Wii U, and really wanted to be ported to the Switch. So far I don't think any of them have, but I'm still hopeful that they will at some point. I actually remember being up late the night I uploaded this, and just immediately you guys were super supportive with this video. And I think I got like 5 likes in the first 15 minutes, which was really good for my channel. So yeah, I guess thanks for supporting it so quickly. So I actually still have the 3DS XL I bought earlier this year. To be honest, I haven't really been using it that much, and the only game I've gotten for it since I purchased it was Super Mario 3D Land. Now that game was really fun, and I'm glad I played it, but I found that ever since I got the 3DS, I've been using the Switch more whenever I want to play handheld games. I might resell the 3DS, but I think there are enough games I do want to try before I do that I'll probably hold on to it well into 2018. But I am still really happy with it. The only thing I think it could improve, besides obvious things like resolution or frame rate, is the standby battery life. I find that a lot of times I'm not playing and I just have it sitting, and after about a day and a half it'll just be completely out of battery. But I guess that's what you get with older technology, and I am glad I at least got to try out the Nintendo 3DS just to see what it was like. I really liked this video and how it turned out. I made a sort of bold editing choice to put a border around the original footage and put that on top of a blurred image of the original footage. I just did that to sort of distinguish it from some of my other videos and really give it this unique image that viewers would remember. I think it turned out really well, and I'm actually in the middle of a Super Mario Odyssey review that I'm most likely going to be using the same technique. What I also really liked about this review is that it was a lot more structured. Normally when I just give my thoughts on the game, it's sort of rambly, and sometimes I do have a script, but I just sort of throw all my thoughts onto the page. With this, I took a lot of time to decide what categories I wanted to judge Breath of the Wild on, and what letter grade I would give each of those categories as I wrote the script for each section. I just think this video is phenomenal. I'm really excited to make more reviews like it, and this is definitely one I'd recommend going back and seeing if you haven't. Another top 5, this one also turned out really well. I noticed a pattern between all my top 5 videos. I really like how they turn out. Obviously my number 1 choice for this was Fallout 4, spoilers if you haven't seen it I guess. What I really remember about this video was how I made my choices not based off of what I'm playing right now, but really based off of nostalgia and what I played in the past that really impacted my current gameplay experiences. For example, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare is number 5, not because I actively play it right now, but because I did play it a lot when I was younger, and it still is one of my favorite games. I think this video did a good job of showing that I don't always play Nintendo games, and there are a lot of games I like outside of Mario and Zelda. This video I uploaded a little over a week after my 5 favorite Xbox games. I was originally going to make this list of top 5, but I decided after thinking about it that I really couldn't narrow Nintendo games down to 5 amazing ones, so I picked 10 that I really liked. I also excluded Wii U and Switch games because I considered them too new to really be a classic to me. Making this video really just surprised me with how many Nintendo games I really do love, and I could easily make another top 10 list of games I really like from Nintendo. This was sort of a prediction video I made about a month before Odyssey's launch. I talked about how it could be the most popular game at all time since it's heavily inspired off of Super Mario 64, and Super Mario 64 came out long enough ago where people aren't familiarized with this style of gameplay. In many ways I was right, this is an extremely popular game that almost everyone who plays loves. Now you'll hear my full thoughts on this in the review I'm going to post in probably a week in 2018, but nonetheless I think this video did a good job of predicting what Super Mario Odyssey would be like, based on what Super Mario 64 is like. I've actually kind of stopped playing Destiny 2, unfortunately. It was really fun playing with my friends for the first month or so, but after that it sort of just fell off and there was no reason for me to continue playing it. I made this video talking about some of my criticism with it, as well as some things I liked about it and a reason I was still playing it. I technically never actually purchased this game as I got it free through some game trading thing, and I'm glad I never really purchased it because I really don't play it anymore. I was actually planning to make a video discussing how the campaign is sort of a flop, and I actually went and spent a couple hours getting clips for that video, but I ultimately decided not to make it, as I just wasn't interested in the game enough to put that much effort into a video like that. So yeah, it's too bad Destiny 2 just really wasn't a game for me, but I still hope other people enjoy it. And then there was the Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta. Oh man, did I have some strong feelings on this one. Like many, I was really disappointed with the 2015 Star Wars Battlefront, and I was expecting a lot from this game to really improve on a lot of the things I didn't like about the original. And I sort of bashed on the game's beta, less for microtransactions and more for how it doesn't really improve the problems with the first one. Some things I have changed my mind of after playing the beta a bit more after making this video, but I never actually purchased the game, which should go to tell you I didn't really enjoy my time with it overall. This is the last one I'll be going over in this video. I made this about a month ago, after about a month of inactivity on the channel, just to talk about how yes, I've been playing Super Mario Odyssey and how school's been pretty crazy at the time, and really just giving my general thoughts on Super Mario Odyssey and how there are a lot of things that I don't really like about it. But without spoiling too much from the review I'm going to post early in 2018, there are definitely things I really like about it, and overall I did have a positive experience with it. This video was really just meant to show my criticisms, as at the time I had not yet 100%ed it and was concerned with what the future held for it. So yeah, those are some of my highlights from this 2017 year. I really want to thank you guys for making this year incredible. It's hard to believe, but as you saw at the beginning of this year, I wasn't posting Nintendo content. I really have to thank you guys for overwhelmingly supporting the Nintendo content I've been posting. It's really reinvigorated me to make more YouTube videos, and I've really enjoyed making content this year. So thank you. I really look forward to an even better 2018. Hopefully Nintendo will keep making awesome games that I can play next year. 2017 was just fantastic for YouTube, and I just can't thank you guys enough. So yeah, that'll do it. I will see you next year. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and here's to 2018 being an even more incredible one. See you guys.